despite the divisions within political camps in the People's Democratic Party, including calls for his sack. The national chairman of the party, Iyorchia Ayu, is insisting that there is no crisis in the People's Democratic Party and that the party is only strategizing for a favorable outcome in the 2023 general election. Arise correspondent Amaka Ude brings us this report.
Well, we don't have crisis in PDP.
As the crisis in the People's Democratic Party lingers, some governors loyal to the River State Governor Nyesom Wike are said to have accompanied him to the French capital, Paris, for further deliberations and strategies. The governors of Oyo, Benue, Enugu, and Abia, after a brief meeting in Paris, moved to London, where their River State counterpart Nyesom Wike met with the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu. This is coming close to 2 months after Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State led his colleagues from the APC, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu to meet in Port Harcourt with Wike. And while the outcome of the meeting has yet to be made public, the leadership of the People's Democratic Party, while denying knowledge of the meeting between Wike and Tinubu, is insisting that there is no crisis in the PDP.
I'm very determined that we don't just win elections at the national level, but we win elections at all levels. House of Assembly, National Assembly, state governorship. We want to return PDP back to about 25 states or more, as we used to have. So the mood in the party is excellent.
I'm not aware of the meeting, because some of our strategies are ours. We don't have to divulge them to the media now, but certainly we are on course.
And when pushed further, one of them reiterated that the decision of the party remains supreme and their loyalty lies with the PDP's duly elected leadership.
We are loyal party members. We believe in the supremacy of the party. We believe in the sanctity of the party. And he has already told you that the mood is very excellent. And that is the way of coming together, uniting the party.
At a meeting of the PDP Reconciliation Committee in Port Harcourt last Friday, the Wike camp had insisted that the national chairman Iyorchia Ayu steps down, a request which is yet to receive a positive response from the National Working Committee, the National Executive Committee, or the Board of Trustees of the party. Since Governor Wike lost the PDP presidential primary to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and didn't clinch the vice presidential nomination, he has had several meetings with members of other political parties like the APC and Labour Party. It remains to be seen if he will dump the PDP, a party he has been a member since 1998. Amaka Ude, Arise News.
Meanwhile, former vice presidential placeholder for the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Bola Tinubu, Alhaji Ibrahim Masabi, yesterday confirmed that the much talked about pact between Tinubu and River State Governor Nyesom Wike was true and real. Masabi disclosed that the two men agreed to work together without Wike necessarily leaving the People's Democratic Party. He said Wike will work for the emergence of the APC candidate as president in next year's election, but did not need to defect to the party. Okay, that's a major story in our headline today. And Adesua Amorwan will be joining us also from our Abuja studio with Emmanuel Emenike here in Lagos. Well, Adesua Amorwan, let me, come to you first on this. Over to you.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. Good morning, Efeni. Great to be with the Malavites this morning. And talking about these political stories, it is difficult to describe what exactly Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State is doing. Some analysts would say in one breath, this is anti-party activity. When you are meeting with opposition parties and you are having reports such as Governor Wike will work for the emergence and the political victory of the candidate of another party. There's no other way to describe it but anti-party activity. But in another breath, some would say perhaps the relevance that Governor Wike has come to have in the People's Democratic Party is what he's leveraging on, and that's why you still have him, become that sort of beautiful bride as we count down to the campaigns proper ahead of the election. I wonder what you think, but there's no better way to describe this than anti-party activity. But how will it play out for a Governor Wike who also wants to ensure that he has a legacy? And it's not new to see governors, political leaders also want to sort of install surrogates when they leave office, someone who continues from where they stop from. The PDP has a candidate, a governorship candidate in Rivers State. It does have members of State House of Representatives, State House of Assembly, members of candidates for coming elections in those various offices, even at the federal level. How will all of that play out when Governor Wike seems to be sort of in bed with the opposition political party in his state? We'll wait to see.
Okay, Emmanuel Emenike.
Yes, yesterday, when we talked about this meeting, we were saying nothing unusual when politicians meet. They meet for all kinds of reasons. But the development thus far show that there's more than meets the eyes in these meetings. And the placeholder, Alhaji Ibrahim Masari, was a placeholder for that running mate position to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. At least he has a title now, placeholder. It was an unknown quantity in Nigerian politics until that moment.
I wouldn't say so. No,
well,
it's been in politics.
Okay, it's been in politics, but at least at the national level, he now has a title, former placeholder. But that is besides the point. But he is making that revelation, which he gave on BBC Hausa service, that indeed there is a working relationship going on between the presidential candidate of the APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Governor Nyesom Wike, that he will work for the victory of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president. But what does that portend for the PDP? Wike has said time without number that Rivers is a PDP state, the next governor will be a PDP governor. So what is going to happen? So he will work for PDP in all other elections, and in the presidential election, he will mobilize for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Is this anti-party activities? Well, it's not official yet, although you say, we agree that the person who is making this revelation maybe is in a good position to know what is happening. But the PDP bigwigs are still meeting with Wike with a view to placating him. He has put his cards on the table, one of which is Ayu must go. Will Ayu go? If Ayu don't go, will that be the reason for him to work for somebody else? That is left to be seen. Is this anti-party activity? Yes, it will qualify as such if it is true. But from what we are seeing, it's like Wike is not alone, because he has a number of governors who are tagging along with him, traveling with him, meeting with him. And some of these governors have said, at least Governor Otom once said, if you placate Wike, you placate us. He made that statement on our program. But if you don't placate Wike, then we're on the same sides. That will be the deduction from his statement. So PDP has a lot of work to do as they head into the presidential campaigns next month. It's not enough for Dr. Iyorsi Ayu to say that, oh, we'll win 25 states. What is brewing now is something any serious member of the PDP should worry about. And if Iyorsi Ayu is not worried, then perhaps it's because he's at the center of the storm in this case, because Nyesom Wike said he has to go. Of course, we know why he's insisting, because Ayu himself, in the wake of the convention, some of his utterances did not help matters, where he was declaring Aminu Tambuwal as the hero of the convention. When you expect a man in his position to be saying there are no winners, there are no losers in a convention of a political party, the winner is the party. But that was not his tone. The sound bite that came out was that it was routine for somebody who stepped down for Atiku to win, which gave the impression to the likes of Nyesom Wike that perhaps the chairman had somebody in mind and was working towards that answer. So I wasn't surprised when one of the requests of the Wike camp happens to be Ayu has to go. But again, clearly, if you look at the top positions in the PDP today, Board of Trustees chairman, party chairman, of course, the presidential candidate, all coming from the north, something has to give. And Wali Jibrin, the BOT chairman, has said, look, we have to make some amends. So how are they going to do that amendment? Will that be enough to placate Wike and bring him back into mainstream so that he doesn't work against the presidential candidate of the party on the presidential election day? I think that should be the worry, the headache PDP bigwigs should be thinking about now.
Okay, let me take the issues one after the other. The first is that we started the week with reports that Wike was meeting with the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, the opposition to PDP, in France, and that it was accompanied by some of his allies, some of whom are well known, including Samuel Otom, governor of Benue State, Seyi Makinde, governor of Oyo State. But it turned out in some other reports that maybe Governor Otom was not there and that Governor Seyi Makinde was on holiday with his family. But later, Punch newspaper confirmed 2 days ago or so that the meeting, in fact, actually took place, but not in France, but in London. And that resulted in, all that discussion we were having yesterday. Is Wike now leaving the People's Democratic Party? But what is important, as part of the fallout of that is one, the declaration by Alhaji Ibrahim Masari of the All Progressives Congress, a close ally of the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, who said, yes, he was in London. He was at the meeting. And that talks about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Governor Wike working together is true and real, and there's no speculation about it. That Governor Wike will work to support Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC to become president of Nigeria. Well, in very simple terms, every political party has its own rules of engagement. It has its own rules of conduct for members. And only recently, some members of the People's Democratic Party have been saying that anybody that engages in anti-party activities will be sanctioned by the party. Of course, the easiest move is to suspend the person. So in this case, the Wike camp has not come forward to reconfirm what Alhaji Masari has said. So, I look forward to how they will react to it. But if indeed it is true, then it means, that Wike has now positioned himself as a fifth columnist within the People's Democratic Party. Now it is up, to the leaders of the party to take a decision, whether indeed they can afford to go into an election with a person who will conspicuously be working for an opposition party. There's no morality for many politicians. Would the APC allow the same situation? I guess, politics is Machiavellian. The end justifies the means. If you want to sabotage your own party and work for another party, the other party, of course, will accommodate you. That's the first part of it, as I see it. The second part has to do with the meeting of the National Working Committee led by the chairman of the PDP, Senator Iyorchia Ayu. Now, from the reports, that was a very well-attended meeting. The governorship candidates of the PDP in 28 states were there. Members of the party from 34 states were in attendance. And the only governor who is seeking re-election that was conspicuously missing at that meeting is the governor of Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde. But as I said, I've seen some reports saying he's on vacation. So I don't want to jump to any conclusion.
No, but he always has reasons to miss some of these big issues.
Yeah, but what did Senator Iyorchia Ayu achieve with that well-attended meeting? One, he's sending a signal that the request by the Wike camp that he should vacate that position, that there is no movement in that direction, he's not going anywhere. He has said that much before now. So it was a way of demonstrating confidence and support. The second thing that that meeting has achieved is in showing that there is very strong solidarity within the party. Okay, and you had all those party leaders who were there expressing their solidarity and saying that there is peace within the party. The third thing that has been achieved with that meeting is to subtly address the Wike question. And that is why I underline the statement made by the governor of Bauchi State. The governor of Bauchi State said, look, he's not aware of any crisis within the party because the party is unified. And, you know, that was the purpose of that meeting anyway. Before him, Alhaji Sule Lamido, former governor of Jigawa State, had said there's nothing, called reconciliation with Wike because as far as he is concerned, it's not one individual that chose the presidential candidate of the party. It was the convention that chose the presidential candidate. Well, Wike's spokesperson has responded to that. But you then heard from Wike's own constituency in Rivers State, Honorable Farad Agogo, representing Degema and Bonin constituency, federal constituency, saying that, look, they are going to organize a 10 million man march across the Niger Delta, if only to prove the point that Governor Wike of Rivers does not control the PDP politics in the entire Delta State. And even the entire Niger Delta. No. The entire Niger Delta, you said.
That is even preposterous for him to assume
that was his statement. I'm quoting him correctly.
Okay.
Check, read. No, you can double check what he said. So he was now saying that, look, he wanted to reassure the presidential candidate of the party that Wike has no power whatsoever to dictate how people will vote. So with just that one meeting, Senator Yochi Ayu has been able to score some goals and send some signals across. The only one that you may argue with, perhaps, is his affirmation that the PDP will win more than 25, the governorship position in more than 25 states. And that the party will win the majority both at the state level and also in the National Assembly. Well, politicians are very optimistic people. No politician will agree that he will not perform better than the other party. So that is just, that boast, well, is what it is. It's a politician trying to, reassure his base that they can do very well and re-energize them. But as for the other details, well, we'll get more details, I believe, as the week runs out. And I imagine that, other people will speak up on this. But it's interesting to see what is going on. What we are interested in is maybe they should move from all this, political rhetoric, ego conflict, and all that, and begin to tell us, this is what we will do about roads. What is the opinion of ASU about ASU strike? What is ASU going to do, for example, about aviation fuel? What is PDP going to do about aviation fuel? There was nothing along those lines at any of these meetings that we keep hearing about. It's all about, personal conflict.
Maybe they're waiting for the campaigns to flag off. No. And they will unfold their programs.
The campaign doesn't have to start before people express individual opinions, that can reassure the public. Anyway, moving on now to a paid report. A foremost advertising media company, Lona Global Media, pre-launches the biggest digital billboard in Nigeria with the name One Infinity. Arise News was there to cover the event. Here is the report.
Lona Global Media pre-launches One Infinity. An iconic, gigantic out-of-home advertising superstructure located on the 3rd Mainland Bridge in Lagos State has been launched. It is a canvas with dynamic lighting that creates spectacular effects to animate and create motion through different transition techniques. Idoko Ilona, the managing director of Lona Media, says at the launch that spaces are available for brands to feature on the iconic global stage for 6 weeks during the debut activation. He says One Infinity does not only showcase brands to global audiences, but also provides an opportunity to get returns on investments.
The One Infinity, like I said, is a static board. It's actually meant for two companies to take the board. But we said, no, let us do something different. Let's come up with something more novel. And what we did was, the display area for One Infinity is 30 meters by 277 meters. That gives us about 8,310 thereabouts square meters. Now, what's the average size of a unipole? It's 6 meters by 18 meters, just an average size of a unipole. So by the time you times that, you get 108 square meters. Now, we divided 108 square meters into the 8,300 and something square meters. So it gives us about 80 unipoles. So when you see One Infinity, you're looking at about 80 unipoles on one structure. So we said, okay, we want to advertise, we want to activate the board. And how do we activate? We want 80 of the top brands in Nigeria to showcase what we have to the world.
We are looking at having number plate identification cameras that are installed on the board. You are able to actually tell the number of traffic. Now, secondly is the facial recognition. How many people are able to turn to look at the board? So we have high-speed cameras that are mounted on the board. This is able to give some advertisers a sense of data metrics, key metrics they need for their exposures, so they're able to capture all this.
Luna Media is a foremost out-of-home advertising and media company in Nigeria. We deliver premium media services, and today we are pleased to showcase our newest and largest billboard, the One Infinity. Today is going to be an amazing time because this is a world-breaking record. We are doing what others have not done before. Nigeria is going to be pleased at this huge achievement.
Some of the features of the billboard include lighting systems that gives opportunity to creatives to enhance their campaign, a full spectrum of RGB lighting solution, LED effects to bring more life to your campaign, and high-speed cameras to evaluate facial recognitions.
You agree with me that Lagos State has the largest economy, fourth largest economy in Africa. Lagos State is the most populous city in Africa. Lagos State also, Third Mainland Bridge also, it has the largest vehicular traffic in Africa. 245,000 cars transfers that road every day. And these are accurate data. It has automatic counters. So Third Mainland is the bridge between the mainland and the island. So for us, it's the most strategic. That location, One Infinity at Third Mainland, is the most strategic location anywhere in Nigeria. The board for now is a static board, and because of the sheer size of the board, like I said, height of 38 meters by 277, it gives different companies the brand. We can host like 5, 6, 7 different brands on the board, so it's an advantage. We intend to also upgrade the board to an LED as time goes on. We spent billions to achieve this, and to put up an LED with the current exchange rate would cost us a lot of money, and Lona as a company, we don't have that money for now. So that's why we said, okay, you know what, let us prove to the people that this can be done. So we've started with a static board, which we intend to upgrade to an LED in the next 6 months by God's grace.
One Infinity will also provide excellent visibility and premium quality that exceeds clients' expectations.
And that's all on the news headlines.